compromise them. What we never want to say is, are you coming back? That's not an option. Unless they're discharged, in which case we already know. They're not coming back. We shouldn't be asking questions about things we should know the answers to. So, now this is a hability text message. So, they're in hability, and they get this message that says, how is therapy treating you this week? Any problems or pain? And this particular guy, no longer an issue. Thank you very much. He's done with us. He's not going to come back. And so I reply, that's great news, Steve. You're on my list to call and check in on today. If it's okay with you, we'll email you a functional assessment. Keep up the good work with your exercises. And so in lieu of a phone call, I did, hability helps us get in touch with people so they don't drop off. Because drop-offs are terrible, right? So that's another example of how hability works. So yeah, we want to try to keep our promises and make sure that if we told a patient they were going to get something, that they get it. And part of that first assessment is not saying we're going to fix them, but it's giving them a contingency plan too. We're going to try this for 3 weeks. If it doesn't work, we're going to send you back to your doctor to get an MRI. You have the contingency plan inside of that. I think that's important because we don't want to make promises we can't keep. Even the photo stuff, we don't always achieve those goals. And so they need to know not only do we have a plan for their success, but we have a plan for if they don't succeed. So that's part of the first session. So the next thing is scheduling them, and this is actually how do we manage our schedule, I think. This is important with respect to kind of drop off. If you look at this particular schedule here, this is from last Tuesday. This is the master schedule, so this is what we now have to go by. A to C was different, we're all getting used to it, but here we have this person with the black that we had called, and then these 2 people who were no-shows. So obviously, we want every person that doesn't come in to have black next to their name. Black is no-show called. Am I right? Can you guys help him? I'd love to see a lot of money. So we don't ever want to see this. We want to see black, black, black. Okay? Now the rule is, if they're not there 15 minutes after their appointed session, we need to give them a call. Somebody needs to take responsibility for that. In our office, we have somebody who's the champion that's going to do that. And I think that happens here. I think it's definitely a busier time. And certainly but we need to make sure that the no-shows are being called. Would everybody agree that we need to call a no-show within 15 minutes? And that is like non-negotiable. And we call them and it's like, where are you? We're worried. Dear God, there's an accident. Like, as a baby's falling or something because they should be here. They made the commitment to come. It's like no-shows are unacceptable. The holidays are brutal. I hate the holidays because people cancel no-show. We don't get them on the schedule as much. But keeping this schedule going is important. Patient drop-off, I'd say it's really important to have one person who's kind of the stalled patient champion who just says, I'm going to make it my business for us not to have stalled patients in this clinic. And if you can be that person, then awesome. But we need to have 1 or 2 people who say, and I know it's happening here because I know the book has been developed and we are working on that. As we go from A to C to RevFlow, we need to use different tools to kind of do that. But that's the thing, stalled patients are no good. It takes everybody working on it. And this is called, this little slide here is called, the fortune is in the follow-up. Okay? Because us following up with people is where it's at, right? This is the form that we used to use, and I think we do in Bethel Park, where we go through every week and look and see who they last saw, and then that person calls them. And then here we have a book, which is awesome, that looks like this. We still have the italicized book, okay? And then it looks like this, and again, it's the last provider, PTA, PT, I don't care who it is, calls them because they were the last person. It was their responsibility. You were the one that was going to get them on the schedule. They want to come back to see you as Esther, as Kenny, as Paul, as John. We're going to call them. So this is why I liked this setup right here. And so in RevFlow, they actually have a report called, and this is I'm not 100% sure, no appointment and not discharged. And I think it's going to create this for us, so we don't have to do it. But I'd ask a couple people. We're still getting to know RevFlow and figure out how it works. But these are people who, okay, and I think this way the report works is that last appointment for their case was 9/22. The person who saw them was either Bruce or Jim or Molly, probably because they got moved around, right? We checked them in, then moved them, checked them in, then moved them. That happens under our system. That's okay. We can easily go in and see that, oh, it was Bruce who saw them, and highlight that person. And then that's how we can track these people. I think this report's going to work really good for that. So that's an example of how we have a problem that RevFlow can help us solve. Yeah.
Like by provider.
Right. So let's say, okay, Molly, I want to know who I got to call. I take this and then bring it up there, right, Kate? Or you just take this and put it up there. This little thing here and put it up there.
No, you just click on it and then check the box there.
Okay, so then you do that. So that's that. So we want to measure ourselves and see how good we're doing. We already have a system in place for this. We're going to manage ourselves this way. What gets measured gets managed. This is a drop-off report. So these are drop-offs. So we just take that report we just generated and we look at it over the course of time and we say, this is the last person to see the patients that didn't come back. Now in A to C it was a little bit deceiving because we had the patient was the case and it wasn't necessarily the person who saw them. But now it should be very easy for us to say, okay, this was the last person who saw them, and we're tracking how good are each of us at getting people to want to come back the next visit.
I think A to C was a little bit more accurate.
Okay, so A to C was more accurate, but we're going to figure out how to fix RevFlow.
I haven't figured out RevFlow yet, though.
Yeah, so the next thing is people who are drop-offs, who we didn't have a last visit with where we said, okay, you're discharged, here's your plan going forward. And so we're tracking that as well. So discharged versus not discharged. We want discharges. We want people who we sew things up with. We say, thank you for coming. Please tell your friends about us. We don't want people who have a visit and never come back and we don't know what happened to them. That's a terrible commentary on where we're at. So that's that. And then the other things that we measure, that we look at, we've been doing this for a long time. This is not anything new. Our no-show call rates. So that's those people in that thing. Like in that day that we looked at, there was 1 call and 2 no-shows. So that would be 33%. We want to be 100%. We want all 3 of those folks to get called. And we want them to be called within 15 minutes. I mean, that's what we all want to do. We don't want to have people that don't come, you know. And incentivizing is just aligning everyone's incentives. And we've already done this. Everyone in this room knows that we are all kind of like, we're only as good as many people come in here to see us as a company, as a business. We're staffed for a certain number of people. So we all, hopefully everybody knows what this is. This is our census. And everybody this is important to people because this is how we do business. So we don't get paid any other way than people coming and having physical therapy. So if you're not familiar with this, you don't know where to find it, come to me and I'll show you. But obviously, at the end of the day, these numbers are reflected by everything else we do inside of this deal. So that's pretty much that, and then we work on our word of mouth right away. So when the patient's discharged, so we're going back, kind of into our into this grand scheme of things. We worked our way from where they need us all the way around here. They've come in, they had the evaluation, they had their treatment, now they're discharged. The first thing we want to do when they're discharged is we want to get them to review us. Because they just had a successful thing on Yelp, on Google+, on Facebook. Encourage people to review us. But they're not going to do it if we don't ask them to. 91% of customers say they give referrals. Only 11 people ask for it. All right, so we want to be asking for it all the time. Then we discharge them, and we need to get a discharge photo that day. As I've said before, you can get your discharge photo, the visit before their last visit. I prefer that than their last visit. Because a lot of people don't come for their last visit. They feel great, they don't come. We didn't get the discharge, guess what? We don't know whether they achieved their goals. And eventually that's going to hurt us if we get paid that way. So we get the photo of discharge, let's get in the habit of doing it the visit before discharge if we can. Again, we're going to ask for referrals. And then they're going to get, so they're still in Ability, they get discharged from Ability. It sends them a message saying, hey, thanks for coming to see us. Please tell your friends about us. They'll get that as soon as we discharge them. But then, 6 weeks after therapy, they're going to get one that says, hey, how's it going? 3 months after therapy. This one is, hey Frank, it's been a year since you ended your course of care here at Urban Physical Therapy. How are you doing now? If there's anything we can do, let us know. And he says, we'll do it. Highly recommend you to anyone. Guess what? He wasn't thinking about us until he got that text message. Now we're at the top of his mind again, so that when his buddy says, my back hurts, we bring somebody else into the model. And that is pretty much it. That's that. Then they get back to where we started, which is over here, And so that's the journey through the way most of our customers, hopefully, they may not come in here, they may come in over there, they may come in here, they might just call and be right there, but this is kind of how it works. So now that we all know that this is it, we kind of have a big picture thinking about how it works. And so hopefully we can all go into RevFlow and figure out how we can make it work for us. All right, I know we need to manipulate that program. Well, now that we know how to do it, we can use it better. And hopefully hopefully this is helpful for giving you the full view of how we want our business to work. Because I think it's important that we all are on the same page with how we want to bring people in, how we want to frame their expectations, how we want them to work their way through. And then eventually, if we get paid by our outcomes, how are we going to use, we should already be trained for that, right? Everyone else is going to be struggling with outcomes, and we're going to know how to do it. Because the thing about outcomes is if you don't collect the discharge outcome, you lose. You only get visit 1 when they are terrible, visit 5 when they were a little better, and that's it. That's how you get paid. So again, collecting the discharge where they're great, then you get a lot more improvement, and in a pay-for-value world, which is where we're headed, we will actually get paid for what we do. But the other clinics won't, because they won't understand how to do that. So that's the future. We need to get in the habit of doing it now, of collecting it when they're on their first day, and they're terrible, and not after the visit when we allayed their fears and they're feeling like, oh, it's all going to work. No, their photos can be better. Okay, so we want to do it like before the session, right? And then at the last day. So, that's all I have. Questions? No? Kate?
What, you ready for my part?
Yeah.
I think you said something about ability not working for email. I've set up patients.
It works for email. It doesn't work as good.
Yeah, it does.
Like, they don't get...
But a lot of the older folks, they don't use text and they use email.
And text comes right up on their
Oh,
phone.
maybe 10 minutes. That's
10
it.
minutes?
Yeah,
Alright, here we go.
not even, because Kenny touched on a lot of what I was doing.
Oh, another thing, this is the last thing before Kate presents. This is actually a cool little chart about how people create value, businesses create value. And I want you to take it, now the best businesses in the world touch on 9 of these things, like Apple, 9. So look at this and think in your mind how we're creating value for patients and how we can expand it. That'll be for next meeting. So pass that around, I don't know how much we have now. So.
Okay, so Kenny talked about a lot of our reputation. He talked about how we get referrals and things like that. And then this little fancy schmancy thing is all about reputation marketing.
Reputation.
Yeah, looks like that.
This is Italian.
It's Italian. So we all market. I know, right? We all market. Every one of us markets this place inside
Don't read the elements of value while Kate's speaking.
and out.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Listen to me, don't look at what I did.
Right.
We market our reputation all the time, inside and out, wearing t-shirts, wearing our fleeces, doing the MS walk, giving our business cards out. Everybody has a business card. The rack cards that we give to our doctors, we all do it. So, inside the office, we market the care that we provide because we're really proud of the way we do it, and in our expertise and our passion that we have for helping people reinforces that. So, in the continuation of our marketing, we want to market our reputation outwards, online, basically. So, by definition, reputation marketing is the process of creating and cultivating a 5-star reputation and then leveraging that reputation to generate more business. Basically, just talking about it a lot. So that leads to Kenny asking for reviews. You want to ask your people, how will it help? People, who looks at reviews before they go someplace new? I know I do, all the time. And especially with restaurants. But it's the most trusted form of review. Most of the time. So all of these blue arrows are reviews. And the ones at the top are paid ads. And the ones towards the middle are like the Premier Physical Therapy ones. These are all organically generated. So everybody talks about Premier Physical Therapy. So they're at the top of the list. So we want everybody to be talking about herb physical therapy, so we're at the top of the list. And I think right now if you Google physical therapy clinics, I hate to say it, but I think CRS is up there, one of them. we're on the list, but we're just not at the top of the list. So how do we get these reviews? Again, like Kenny said, what we do now is we do word of mouth. We have the questionnaires in the waiting room. We have doctor referrals that know us really well, and things we want to add to the Facebook, the Gmail, the email, the Yelp, the website. You can do any of those right now. It's all set up. It's all ready to go. And all we have to do is ask. Dave Straight, I have that, Dave Straight is our website guy, and he created our awesome website. And he is specifically for PTs. So, with our Facebook review, all you have to do is have the patient log into Facebook. They can do it on their phones, they can go to our website, our Facebook page, and they can review us right then and there. If we have them do it on a tablet, we have to make sure that they log out of it for HIPAA reasons. But, for Google, same thing. They go to their Google Maps and they type in our physical therapy. They pick whichever location they want, and they scroll down to the bottom, they flip it up, and it just has you 5 stars. And you either pick how many stars you want, and then you can write the review. Again, super easy. They can do it on their phones. Everybody has Google Maps on their phones. For non-Google users, there is an app on your tablets that I put on that takes you to a submission page. So they put in their name and their email, their review, their starring, and then they have to go back and check their email. I've found out that this is a hard one to sell only because people don't go back and check their emails, so they don't post it. So if they have their phones with them, you can say, hey, check your email right now, and we can get it posted there. And then whenever they get that email, they can pick where they want to post it. So whether it's Twitter or Facebook or Yelp or even back to Google, they can do it then. And then there's always that one tried and true paper review. So this fancy little sheet, they have to fill it out completely after they're DC'd, and then you can thank them for their review. And Dave Straight is awesome and sent me pre-stamped envelopes. Now again, by HIPAA law, you have to have the patient fold and seal the envelope themselves. You can't do that for them. So, and then you can tell them to, again, check their email because it's going to go back and they're going to get to pick where they want to post it. So this is a roundabout way. It's much easier to just do it while you have them in front of you. But the way you make people feel is your reputation, and I think in this profession specifically, that's true. So, do you have any questions regarding anything else?
Yeah, that paper one, what exactly do they have to do? You send it to them in the mail and they send it back?
No, they can fill it out, and I can drop off envelopes, but they just have to fill it out.
Oh, then where are they sending it to them?
They're gonna send it to eRehab.
You read
LLC.
it, okay.
And like I said, they have to put it in the envelope, because it's a, I didn't know this, but Dave says that it's a HIPAA violation of sorts if you're doing their mail for them, type of deal.
But that one has the email follow-up too, like the
Yeah.
other.
This one also has the email follow-up. So if you go to our website, you have this fancy skater.
Our website's awesome.
You have this fancy skater, and it has everything. It says, you scroll down in this box, and literally right there, check out our patient ratings and reviews. So, if it's gonna work, it'll pop up everybody's reviews that they have sent in. Maybe.
Well, I didn't. Yeah.
They're there, I promise, they're there. So it took me a really
It's
long
just
time
there.
to
It's
get them
there. It came up. It's
Yeah.
just a slow connection right now.
So a lot of these are from Bethel Park because we've been doing this for a while. But they get posted here, I think, automatically too. So I think like Cheryl's is also on Facebook. Carol's can be on Facebook, I think. There's just a lot of awesome things that are going on here. But they can do it on here. So if you hit review us, it'll bring up this page, and this page is what you see on the tablet for a non-Google user. I think it's just a generic submission form with our fancy logo on the side. So it's really easy. It's And all you have to do is ask, and 9 times out of 10, your patients are gonna want to do it for you.
Right.
And even if Dave Straight says that even if you do it personally, like, will you please leave me a review? Esther gets patients, Liz, Esther, and Lauren, and Brian, they get patients all the time that specifically just wanna work with them. And if they should ask, can you please leave me a review? Esther was great. Esther was the best, most kind person I've ever worked with, so on and so forth. And that's easy peasy.
Yeah.
Super, super easy.
We just gotta get our patients singing our praises.
Right.
And we
And
have
the
to
way
do it
that
on the
I
last visit.
instilled it in
second to
Bethel
last visit.
is at the end on their last visit or their second to last visit, they do a review, they do a photo, and they write on the whiteboard. Those are the 3 things you do in order to get discharged.
Yeah, make it a routine. We have to make it systematized, that's for sure.
And we had literally had a phone call this morning that Esther took, that somebody was like, I looked at your reviews online and I decided to come pick you. So, it was pretty awesome. It was,
Saw your awesome reviews online.
yeah.
I
So-
knew I wanted to come here.
Well, that's how we wanna get patients, so we wanna get it from our reputation and because of the fact we're good. Not because we're cheap, not because we're close, we want it because people wanna come see us because of who everybody in this room is. These reviews are just a compliment for all the work you guys are doing. I mean, it's really, we have the best staff anywhere. It's like, you should read them because they're all about you. And not just about Bethel Park, I mean, it's the same thing here as it is there, it's just that we aren't yet in the systematization of collecting it.
Right.
But yeah, this is definitely a tip of the cap, and that's how we wanna get our patients, is word of mouth.
And not only that, you guys know that we are popular in the community. I mean, everybody that you talk to, oh yeah, I know her, I've been there before.
Yeah.
So why not take that online? I mean, there are millions and billions of people that look online. So why not?
On Channel 11 yesterday.
See?
Yeah.
We're popular.
Oh,
Free
yeah, big
advertising.
sign, that big sign.
Exactly.
Everybody,
Free
it's here, I mean,
advertising.
everyone really loves the people who work here. That's what this is. This is not a physical therapy business, it's a people business. It's John, it's Paul, Mary, Molly, Candace, I don't remember your name, Kelly, Jan. There's just too many Laurens. If I point to you, then it could be any Lauren, you know, everybody. Even? Any questions about any of this stuff? I hope this was valuable. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to listen. Hope I didn't worry you to death. So that's it. All right. Yeah. Free cookies.
Do we have anything else that we need fixed before I call Penny? So I can just.
Do we get that from computer ready to